will be responding to the claim that plastic bags will soon be banned because of the harmful effects they have on the environment. The opponent's secondary claims consisted of plastic bags litter the landscape, they kill animals, and locations that have banned or limited the use of plastic bags. With that said, I would like to respond to the first secondary claim that plastic bags litter the landscape. That is very much true. But littering the landscape, if that includes the coast, landfills, or any other area, there are studies that show otherwise. According to Earth 911, they reported that a 5-year-long study by the Ocean Conservancy found that small plastic bags made up about only 9% of the debris found along the U.S. coast. That's quite small. Also stated by the stateofbags.com, plastic bags are extremely compact. Plastic grocery bags and all plastic retail bags together only make up 0.4% of space in landfills. So that's, again, a small amount. And if we were supposed to ban plastic bags and look for an alternative, would that be a paper bag? And if so, they have also stated that paper bags are far bulkier than plastic bags and take up more space. Even though consumers choose plastic bags 4 out of 5 times over paper, paper bags take up 1.0% of landfill space, which is obviously a lot more than what plastic bags would take up. Onto her secondary claim, she stated that plastic bags kill animals. That again is very true. Plastic bags do harm and kill many animals. However, the actuality is that plastic bags kill a very small amount. According to OregonLive.com, the London Times reported in March 2008 the widely stated accusation that bags kill 100,000 animals and a million seabirds every year are false, according to experts. They pose only a minimal threat to most marine species, including seals, whales, dolphins, and seabirds. So it is very unlikely that many animals are killed by plastic bags. It does happen, but the number is quite small. And then thirdly, she stated about regarding locations that have banned or limited the use of plastic bags. There are I wasn't quite sure if she was speaking about this locally, regionally, nationally, or around the world as to who has banned these plastic bags and how much great impact they will have on us considering on banning them. But according to Star.com, the plastic agency said that reduction experiments have failed. Arlene has reduced their plastic bag consumption by 90%, but going into landfills have actually increased because people are now buying far bulkier trash bags, like kitchen garbage bags, and they are, instead of reusing their lighter grocery bags as they once used to do. So there are, if you speak out of the country and go to Ireland, they have obviously banned the plastic bag or put like a limit on it, and it's actually causing more harm than if they were to stick with their original plastic bags. And if we were also to look at this locally, many cities are not passing this ban or passing this or trying to force this to take place. According to Cities Go Green, they state that the Plastic Coalition has filed plastic bag ban proposals in Oakland, Manhattan Beach, LA County, Palo Alto, Santa Clara County, San Diego, Santa Monica, Mountain View, Morgan Hill, and San Jose. They have tried or brought up the topic of banning plastic bags. However, there has not been a major argument to help them in doing so, so therefore these bans are not being passed, and we are still clearly using plastic bags. Therefore, with all these secondary claims, there doesn't seem to be a big effect or a big, there's not enough harm being done for this ban to take effect, whether it be here in the States or local cities or around the world. Thank you.
All right, following it was very easy. You outlined the issues clearly. Don't forget that I think the proposition is phrased as a prediction, and so your third argument, the one where you're talking about the bans being fought at local levels all over the place and there hasn't been a resulting ban that like has been predicted, I think that really is the one point that addresses the main proposition. Everything else is really about whether or not a need exists for such a ban, and I thought you minimized that pretty well. You had some good information on the first point about the amount of space that it takes up in the landfills and the amount of debris that it represents on the coastline. I thought that was pretty effective at reducing the significance. There's not really any analysis of the advocate's evidence or reasoning on this point, so we just got counterclaim on that. On the second point, you have the same argument. This time it's about the animal loss, and it sounds like you've got a good quote, although I have to say it was not as convincing because it sounds like it's coming from generic experts that are being quoted from a third site that suggests that this is not really in large numbers. And if you've got a direct quote there and a source citation, that would work a lot better at responding to that point than this kind of generic statement, although I do think that you make a reasonable point on that. And then on the last point, I thought you had an interesting explanation about how there are these negative consequences when this has happened. It has failed to produce a benefit, and that there are, in fact, places where they've tried to do this and it's been resisted effectively, which, like I said, that really addresses what the prediction is on the main proposition. I thought you did a nice job presenting it and explaining the points. Just need to maybe put a couple things together more to make it even more effective. All right, thank you.